Hello everyone. How you doing today? Do you ever catch yourself, those of you that have had weight loss surgery or those of you that are on a journey to a better you, ever catch yourself doing something and think, my old self did that. I used to do that all the time. Going to a certain part of the grocery store where the old you may have went to shop at, the bakery or the candy aisle where cookies are or whatever, or go walking into a local bakery, catch yourself looking at cakes, pies, and just thinking, I want one of those. But you catch yourself. That's what the old you did. You quickly walk away. But the hardest part of change is not always the weight. It's the reflexes. We don't live there anymore. Think about it. What are some of the things that I catch myself doing nearly 7 years later is eating, getting back to that, at times, that habit of eating fast without tasting it. Taking a bite, putting the fork or the spoon down, counting to 30, basically chewing until it's mush. You catch yourself avoiding the mirror, avoiding cameras. And it's not because of shame of who you are now, it's you did that route for so long. I catch myself doing that. I avoid mirrors, and I don't necessarily avoid photographs so much now. I think one of my old bosses called me the selfie king because he said everywhere I go, taking a picture. And yes, I do. I even, whenever I had my chest surgery, and then I had an opening after the surgery, and he made a joke. He says, it was because you were walking around taking too many selfies. And then, of course, another former store manager showed him the opening and explained to him what happened. He felt bad for 2.5 seconds. I'm the selfie king. And then telling yourself you do something over the weekend, you allow yourself cheat meals or a cheat snack or whatever, and you say, I'll start again Monday. Hey, I've caught myself doing that here recently. 5K on Saturday, this past weekend, 5K Saturday, half marathon Sunday. And I celebrated with my family both days. Did I celebrate to the extent where I'm miserable come Monday morning? No. Did I allow myself to eat some of the foods that I normally don't eat regularly? Absolutely. But hey, guess where I was at Monday morning at 5 a.m.? I was at the gym with an hour-long personal training session. And then I went to work and worked 12 hours. And guess where I was at today at 5 a.m.? I was at the gym, busting my tail on the treadmill, on several other machines. And then I went home, and now here I am at work, working another 10, 11, maybe a 9-hour shift today. But the old self, it kept us alive. I did what I had to do to stay alive, the bare minimum. And of course, there was a time where I did not believe I would live to see my 41st birthday. I remember when I turned 40, and I said this was going to be the year, the decade, that I was going to die. I even told someone, and I hope no one ever finds this one day, well, maybe later on in life, but I wrote out my obituary. I wrote out what I wanted to happen with my personal possessions because I didn't want my brothers or any other family member to have to worry about that, about what to do with my stuff, because I knew I was not going to live to see an old age because of my addiction to food. It was killing me. Our survival habits, they don't vanish overnight. I survived. I had to learn a new way of life with weight loss surgery, and I'm still learning that way of life. Have I been successful in learning new ways of living, eating, drinking? Absolutely. Losing over 300 pounds in nearly 7 years. I think it's safe to say that I've surpassed the survival mode. Our growth doesn't delete history, it rewrites it. I am rewriting my history every day. I am doing and living a life that I thought I never would ever, I never thought it would be possible to live the life. Sometimes I pinch myself thinking, wow, I am living proof that having a weight loss surgery, using it as a tool, losing the weight, being in what we call maintenance mode, exercising, walking, going to the gym, living a life that I never thought I would ever be able to live. Weight loss surgery gave that to me. And when you catch yourself getting in some of those old habits, when you see those things creeping back, you have to slow down, think, talk. What's bothering you? What's on your mind? Why are you letting those habits creep back in? Is it stress at work? Is it stress at home? Is it just not putting yourself first? Are you not drinking enough water? And I'm talking to myself right now. I think I've had, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that. Oh, come on. Well, this is honesty. Snack and Check is honesty. Michael Bryan has had more coffee today than water. Yes, Amanda, I have not had any water today. No, I've had 2 glasses of water. So I'm gonna do better. I'm going to put the coffee down after this cup. Even allowing yourself a snack, put the snack down. But if it's going to be one of those things that's going to eat you alive until you eat it, you can do one of 2 things. You can either eat it, or I had a friend tell me that he wanted a snack, a sweet treat that the old self that he had eaten before. He was in a supermarket and he came across that candy bar and he wanted it so bad, but he knew the price he was going to pay for eating that candy bar. He said he kept on. He kept staring at that checkout line, and he said he bought it. And I said, you ate it, didn't you? And he says, no. He says, when I walked out the door, I threw it away in the garbage can. He says, that was probably stupid. He says, but at the same time, I was telling that candy bar, you don't have life over me. You're not going to dictate what I do. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, we should do that more often. Just think if everybody thought like that. I'm not saying go buy a Snickers and throw it away. No, I'm not saying that, but just imagine if we had that mindset that, for me, the cinnamon roll or the pancakes or whatever, if I had that control, that discipline, who's to say what we all would or wouldn't do? You don't owe your perfection to anyone but yourself. The old you isn't the enemy. Progress includes grace. What do I mean by that? Allow yourself grace. You're going to have those days where you gave it your all, but you still didn't get your protein in, or you allowed yourself to celebrate a win and you treated yourself to something that you normally don't eat. Give yourself grace. And I'm not saying give yourself grace every day and allow those old habits to come back in. No, even myself, I celebrated this weekend and I got back up Monday morning and I went to the gym. I didn't lay in bed and say, oh, my feet hurt, or my calves hurt, or the fronts of my legs hurt. I forget what area you call that. But no, I got up and I went to the gym. And I told Jake, my personal trainer, I said, you go easy on me today. Of course, you know as well as I do, if you know Jake, there's no going easy. So I've said all that to say, in closing, growth is catching yourself and choosing differently. The old me still knocks. I just don't let him drive. So, gonna have a guest speaker on here in a couple of days. Not sure when it'll be airing, but you'll be excited. I'm excited. And we'll end this week strong. So I'm gonna do something else a little stupid, and you can let me know if you like this or not. A couple of my friends was telling me, they said, you need to, as much as you like to wear, because I'm called a fashionista everywhere I go. Those of you that don't know me, I am a fashion coach for Walmart. What does that mean? I am over all of apparel in the store and infants. And I've got an amazing team that work with me. They keep me in line. They're always complimenting the outfits and whatnot. And yes, I care what I look like. Owe that to my parents and to my grandmother. And you always dressed your best before you walked out the door. For school, for weddings, for funerals, for church, for the doctor, to fly. If you think about it, you dressed your best to go to work. If you think about it, there's no room to dress like a bum. I have caught myself wearing my gym clothes, and I'm saying joggers and t-shirts, out publicly to go do whatever, and some will say, that's what you're wearing? You don't dress like that to go out in public. Well, 2025, it's okay. So we got a Lululemon hat, we got a Ralph Lauren sweatshirt, Lululemon jacket. Maybe I could get a sponsorship out of all this. Start advertising for these name brands. We could get some free stuff. What you think? Until next time.